Welcome back. Wheat prices have climbed to a fresh 4-month high after the armed uprising in Russia added uncertainty to the outlook for grain shipments from the Black Sea breadbasket. Joining us for a further outlook on wheat and other agricultural commodities is Ted Seifried. He's Vice President and Chief Market Strategist at Zaner Ag Hedge. Ted, thanks a lot for joining us. The war in Ukraine, of course, has really redefined grain markets around the world. It's had a huge impact since that war began. What, if any, impact do you see from the recent turmoil and uncertainty in Russia?
Yeah, absolutely. And that certainly was the big highlight of the weekend for the grain markets, for the wheat markets, aside from weather, which is another thing altogether. But more uncertainty. Really, what do you make out of that? And what happens if that gains traction amongst other factions and other, there's more of these sort of outfits? Wagner just happens to be the one that we hear about the most. So it really calls into question Putin's power, his backing, how the important people in Russia are following him or backing him. So really, we don't know exactly what to do with it. But uncertainty usually breeds higher prices. And in the meantime, we've got a whole lot of weather issues going on here in the United States as well.
Remind us what type of agreements have been reached, including Russia, Ukraine, and other countries, on the export of grain from that part of the world during this conflict.
Yeah, so for the moment, Russia is providing a clear grain corridor for Ukrainian shipments of wheat to go out to. Specifically, they want it to be the starving countries of the world, really, Africa and things like that. Russia contends that that's not where their grain shipments are actually going. Russia also says that they should be allowed to export their fertilizer and things like that unsanctioned. So there has been contention with that really since that started. Russia agrees to it to extend it for 3 months at a time. But then this last time around, they extended it for a month and a half. That time frame for when they review this agreement keeps getting shorter and shorter. One of these days, it sounds like Russia might actually pull out of it. But who knows where we'll be when that comes up again.
So last question on Russia. How important are wheat and grain sales to Russia's income? We think of it as an oil state, and the price of oil and oil sales are crucial to revenue in Russia. How important is grain?
Yeah, so it's number two, right? So like you said, oil, number one, grain and fertilizer, which is also, an energy product, that's their big number two export. So it is very important for them. They do still have a lot of countries in the world that will do business with them, even when the West has sanctioned them. So their wheat exports have been fairly strong, despite the Western sanctions. But again, if they were to threaten that wheat corridor, that might change, because then all of a sudden this looks like a humanitarian issue.
Okay, let's talk about North American grain. What at this time of year often influenced by weather patterns. What are we seeing weather-wise across North America, and what has been the price reaction?
Yeah, in the last month, we've seen one of the strongest rallies in soybeans, corn, and then wheat that we have seen in really almost ever, but certainly in the last few years. We've been straight up, and that has come from a lot of dryness concerns. It really hasn't rained basically from the beginning of April all the way through the middle of June for most of the growing area, the key growing areas in the Midwest. We've recently started to get a few rains coming through, but it's certainly not enough. Again, this is one of the driest 3-month periods that we have on record. There's a couple of years that we can go back and look at. 2012 being the one that we remember very, very much so, because that's when we went up and we set new record high prices for corn and soybeans. And we have a very similar looking drought monitor right now to where we were this time in 2012. You can also go back to 1992 and see something very similar. Now, there were very different outcomes between what happened in 1992 and what happened in 2012. 2012, it did not end up raining. In 1992, the rain really started towards the end of June into July. We ended up actually having really good crops. So now we're at a crossroads. The market's trying to figure out if all this dryness is going to equate into massive crop losses, or if we very quickly flip the switch on the weather and see a new weather pattern change come in, cooler, wetter, we could potentially still have a pretty decent crop. I will say that I think the corn crop has gotten hurt to some extent. I don't think we have full yield potential there, but soybeans actually might. And for right now, the market is very, very concerned, very, very focused on the production side of things. However, If you go back about a month and a half ago, we were very worried about the demand side of the equation. And if it starts to rain again and we stop talking about weather, we'll start talking about the demand situation again, and demand has been really poor as of late.
What explains poor demand for key agricultural commodities?
Absolutely. An old adage, high prices are the cure for high prices, Paul, and we've been at high prices for the last 2.5 years for lots of reasons. Inflation, Russia, growing issues all over, really, the world. But those high prices ultimately take their toll. You start to see less demand. You also see supply coming out of the woodwork. Brazil just had their biggest soybean crop and corn crop that they've ever seen, the biggest crops the world have ever seen. It creates a lot of competition for North American demand. And again, high prices are a problem, right? So if we're going to see these prices continue to rally, that's going to put more pressure on demand. For example, Paul, last week, our export sales of corn were 110,000 metric tons. The same week a year before, 1.1 million metric tons. We're roughly 10% of our weekly exports that we would normally be used to seeing right now. That is a concern.
Ted Seifried, thank you very much for this insight. He's VP and Chief Market Strategist.